It is March 9th, 2026. I'm Grantham Taylor Hughes for my show, The Grantham Taylor Hughes Show.
I've heard you mention the Kali Yuga, the dark time, so to speak, of mankind, and how we move out of that into the golden age. Would you be able to expand a bit on that?
So you're trying to milk the golden age thing because we got a lot of subscribers on that show, right? We talked about the golden age. Okay, very good, Tony. I appreciate the promotion.
Yes.
Well, interestingly enough, the yugas are talked about by my Tibetan Lama teachers. They talk about the four yugas. You have the golden, silver, copper, and iron ages. And they call in Sanskrit the Satya, the Tretya, the Dvarpa, and the Kali Yuga. So when you talked about the Kali Yuga, they're talking about the Kali Yuga, but in the West they call it the Iron Age. Carrying around a load of iron in the back of your truck. So the Iron Age is supposedly the most negative time, and you can look around and probably agree with that pretty easily. So how do you move to a more positive time? Is like we were saying before, it's a law of assumption. It's a state of consciousness. People say, I don't understand that. I have secondary causation around me. I say, well, not really. You're really the creator of everything in terms of the law of assumption. So if you get consistent with the law of assumption, then you will move into a golden time, at least for yourself. Collectively, it will shift to everything, and then the sun will be a dome of light in the sky instead of a little pinpoint. And then you'll see Chicken Little running across the sidewalk going, the sky is falling, the sky is falling, it's going to hit me on the head. When the sun is a dome of light, they think the sun is crashing into the earth. But since that's the wrong astronomy, then that's not possible. It's not possible. The sun is not a fiery ball traveling to indigo space. Think of that image. Isn't that ridiculous? Yes, I can see a ball of fire. It's traveling through indigo space. It's very dark blue, and there's a ball of fire traveling through it, and we don't really know why. We haven't got a clue of what's going on, and neither do the people that are talking about it. It's like, what are you talking about? A ball of fire out there. See that ball of fire? It's called the sun. I beg to differ. I will differ even if I beg it. Yes, I'm begging to differ with you. Go ahead, Tony.
I can remember as a young child going to school and becoming very disturbed when people told me that we were on a spinning globe that spun at thousands of miles and that my only term of reference was going on a roundabout, and I could not get my head round how we stayed on the planet without flying off if it was spinning.
I know, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
It
Because
is.
everybody's questioning the same thing. The students sit in there and take it all in and going, God, this is so ridiculous. But you don't even raise your hand and go, I'd like to ask a question. Teacher, this is really ridiculous. Can you fix that concept? Because it's really awful.
So on one hand,
Yes,
we've
on
got
one hand.
yes, on one hand we have the gravitational pull, and on the other we have the model of DNA, human
Yeah.
DNA of the universe.
Yes, agreed, there is DNA. Your body is made of DNA, deoxyribose nucleic acid. They used to call it the double helix back in the early 50s, but now it's apparently they've discovered finally, it took them a long time, there's a multiple helical universe. And then we've discovered that it's really the Padika of the phases of Yantra. You see what I mean? So it marries up nice and neatly if you pay attention to me, but nobody is. Oh, sorry.
Right. So when you were talking about the Mobius strip and how it's a continuous cycle, that is
Yes.
the DNA spiraling.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, Dr. Mobius didn't know what he had, too, but I told you, science always brings up commentary or ideas that they don't really know how to elaborate on because they just are whatever. My favorite word, stupid. Oh, sorry. Are you calling all science stupid? Yes. But anyway, so the Mobius strip is really a no-sided figure. It exists but doesn't exist because there's no inside or outside to it, you see? So it's called a no side. So if it's a no side, it's a non-sided figure. So that's still a name. They call it Anomilok, which is a 10th dimension. They call it the nameless region, but the name is Anami. It's a no-sided figure. It's still a figure. It still exists, but it doesn't exist in terms of definition. So the Mobius strip is an illusion. It really doesn't exist. That's why they call it infinity.
So when we go back to these Kali Yugas, we cycle through them all. So we come into the end of the Iron Age. So we're cycling back to the new Golden Age.
Right. It's a figure 8 when you look at it. But remember, it's a Mobius strip, and there's a twist in it. So you got to appreciate the twist. So that's actually a joke, right? There's a twist to all this. We're going to make a twist, and then we make it disappear. Well, so the twist makes it disappear into a non-sided figure. And the reason why it's non-sided, there's no inside or outside.
So our latest video, Rising Phases of Sri Yantra, actually has been quite successful. We have a lot of attention. People are actually been watching in great numbers, which is fantastic. Very valuable information we've been imparting. Is there anything you'd like to add to what we already has been said on the subject of phasing?
I think the thing I wanted to add about that today specifically, we're not seeing correctly in the exoteric worlds. Right now, we're not seeing correctly because we're in one portal. And so in order to see properly, our eyes need to be straight ahead, which is unheard of. People don't even realize that your eyes are turned in about 10% to be able to see one portal. People don't understand that concept. Here's a good example. We have 2 eyes, we have 2 arms, 2 legs, we have 2 of everything in our body. So it's a negative and positive polarity in our body, okay? So that means, why are we in one world? Think about it. I mean, that's pretty simple, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that of itself, because we have twin possibilities in our body in many different facets, proves that there's 2 worlds. But they're superimposed on each other, see? Well, we've talked about this, but we need to reinforce it. So what happens with the phases, we're trying to separate the worlds so we're seeing properly with our eyes. So that's why we need to reinforce this and repeat it over and over again. Folks, we're in 2 worlds.
I've been doing my phasing and I've gone back to the hourglass, and what I found last week is that I started to do it more because I knew I had to train my eyes to see in a different way. So now I'm getting much more clarity. I seem to be looking like that rather than that.
I appreciate the reinforcement because we're trying to move our eyes out straight instead of like that.
Yeah.
See, that's the proper way of seeing is your eyes going straight, but people don't realize they think that their eyes are straight, but they're not. They're converged in about 10 degrees from the backside. So that's how we see one singular picture, is there's convergent sight. It means that your eyes are centered in the middle to be able to see one picture. So there's a convergence. But we're trying to see properly. If we have 2 eyes, they should be looking straight ahead. And if they look straight ahead, they open up what is known as the Padika. And Padika opens up this array of portals that we travel into.
If I get excited and I see the hourglass and I start to concentrate on it, bringing my eyes into convergence again, it disappears. I've got to relax my eyes and look straight ahead, and then it comes back.
What's a ganosas? You gain but not sustaining. See, it would be like Tibetan lamas gaining God consciousness, but you can't sustain it. So there's a ganosas in the universe that we're seeking all the time. We can't sustain it eternally. You see what I mean? And they call that our eternal self, we call it the divine contemplation. You see what I mean? So we've been contemplating the universe for eternity, but never sustaining any particular phase. See what I mean? But we can be there for a bit. You can't sustain anything. So don't be concerned about the Ganosus you get with that, because you just get used to the ocean. That's why people get tired, because they're converging all day long. Their eyes get tired, so they got to sleep. So it's a Ganosus on a constant basis. That's why people give up the physical body, because they're so tired of the Ganosus physically. But there's a Ganosus even esoterically, see? So the word Ganosus should get into your vocabulary, Ganosus. Ganosus. I made that up about a month ago. Gain but not sustaining. They didn't have a term for it. You see me? Again, which is a very important concept. Gain but not sustaining, and then realize it's called divine futility. And they say, well, it's futile, isn't it? Yes, but it's divine. It's what you are. You are eternally in Ganosus. See, but then they say, don't I ever get a rest from it? Yeah, they have rest points in eternity. It's called a kaya koti in Sanskrit. You can actually rest, but in reality, you're not really resting. You just think you are. Remember what I said about the effortless effort is if you lay down in a rowboat and it's in the ocean, and you let that ocean float out to sea, and you're laying down in the rowboat, that's a pretty effortless effort practice. See, so the best you can do is get effortless effort. If you make a lot of effort, you're just exhausting yourself. See, they call that exhausted rigor. So if your rigor is effortless effort, then it gets into the area of tranquility. What is tranquility? Well, the high level of tranquility is azaraxia. I like azaraxia. It's beyond tranquility. If you listen to the sound of my voice, when I count to 3 and twirl my gold watch, where's my gold watch? I don't have it in my pocket. If I spin my gold watch and I count to 3, after I count to 3, you'll quack like a duck. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Quack, 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 quack. 1, 2, 3, come back. All right. Thank goodness we're back. What is that man talking about? We're not sure, but we really like it. We're going to subscribe to this one because he's all over the place. Well, we think he's staying on the subject, but we don't really know what the subject is. Well, that's the subject. The subject is a subject. It's like the Russian dolls, a doll within a doll within a doll. Oh, sorry. Go right ahead. Oh, I haven't spoken in a sacred today yet. Oh, yeah, you're doing it, Tony. Good for you, boy.
I enjoy it. It's good fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
And of course, the sacred is our native language. We were born with it and was taken away with it immediately when they said, Daddy, Mommy.
Yes.
All right. So we're out there in some vector no man's land. We'll come back to the center and we'll look into the yantra.
Paris, our colleague who made amazing leap forward, almost found herself in Potocka. She hasn't confirmed, but it's worth mentioning because she seems to be very natural, like normally would say, stay with your one phase for a month or so. This is absolutely normal. Don't be discouraged if it's longer, but be encouraged if it's less than a month, because this phasing goes in and out. It's a fluid process. She went through it with no issues very, very quickly. And we were wondering, is this sort of phenomenal?
We need to confirm
We haven't confirmed it, yeah.
Until you get confirmation, you probably shouldn't spend a long time talking about what she's doing, how wonderful it all is, because it may not be. So you got to confirm these things before you get all excited about the truth. You see what I mean? You get excited about the truth when you duplicate it. So until it's duplicated, it's just remplissage, which I'm on board when we confirm things. But I don't agree with things until I'm sure of something. Just like I don't quote people and I don't make recommendations about motivators. And when I do, you probably should listen up because it probably has some value. Like Neville Goddard, I'm going to name drop here. I think he's a really brilliant guy. He's got some things that are missing, but that's okay. From my viewpoint, that's understandable. But again, when I recommend somebody, people probably should pay attention to them because they have some value in their discussions. Otherwise, most things are valueless, which we would call it fluxiness and hilification. I like that word. It's not a Geico commercial.
And what does that mean in English, Grantham?
It means declaring something worthless.
Ah,
Yeah, fluxiness and hilification. It's a good word.
wow.
I recommend using it. I use it a lot in the marketplace, and people just run away. Help! Help! What's he talking about? I'm talking about fluxiness and hilification. It means declaring something worthless. Well, how come you use that term? It's one word instead of three words. Declaration of worthlessness. It's actually two words.
So can we remind our audience what this law of assumption is about and what is the real value behind the teaching?
Assumption means you're the creator. So when you're in the center and you do the I am, and whatever noun you want to put on there or manifestation after that, say I am healthy, I am rich, I am whatever, you see, will manifest because it's coming from the source. You're the source. So it's a real simple mantra to say, if people want money, they say, I am rich, and you'll get rich. It'll be there immediately. You'll be the creator in the center, and whatever flows out from you comes back to you, manifests. See, because we're this constant flow. We're actually the horizontal Mobius strip, the figure eight in front of us. When you flow out your energy, it goes out into a figure eight, and 40% of it turns into the shadow worlds in front of us, the manifest dimensionality of the lower realms. Then 60% comes back to you, and that's your manifestation, and 60% of your empire. So when you realize that what's happening with that, and you don't have to put a lot of attention on that because you're doing it naturally, then 60% of your energy creates what you have in your empire. You see, so that's how all your wealth comes. You say, I am rich, then 60% of what you're flowing comes back to you in a tremendous empire. So you can do that, I am rich, or I'm healthy, or I'm wealthy, or I'm happy. You can do that throughout the day, and that's what happens, see, because you're taking the position of the I am consciousness. See, all of us are conscious, so we have to work with that consciousness. You see, Neville and his teacher Abdullah was talking about consciousness. So the sticky wicket is when they start talking about the subconscious, and I've talked to you guys about the subconscious. You can't really do the subconscious unless you get to the sun worlds. If you're up in the sun worlds, then you can see the subconscious. If you don't know the sun as the fifth dimension, and you talk about the subconscious, then you don't understand the subconscious. So all these motivators to talk about the subconscious have no idea what they're talking about. They need to talk about consciousness alone and not the subconscious. See, so I'm the only one that corrects that.
What did you say, Grantham? Saying I am rich, you have to feel that you are rich. If you put lack in and you start to worry about, oh, how am I going to pay this bill? It's just not going to work because you're not being
Well, it's like
it.
a mantra. They call that a reset. When you start worrying about all this stuff, what you do is you go back to the I am rich. You see what I mean? You get back. It's a reset. See, it's the same idea when people chant mantras. They're doing a reset away from the shadow worlds and getting into the esoteric worlds with their spiritual mantras. That's all a mantra is to keep your attention on the truth. And
Right.
since it's a ganosus, see, it's a gain but no sustaining, but the sustenance is in the mantra. But that's why the mantra is there. Maintain the focus, and the manifestation rules in that truth eventually. It might do it right away. It depends on the power of the individual. If you're very, very powerful, you might say, I am rich, and then be laying on $1 billion like the billionaire delivery boy in India when he put the yantras under the bed and he woke up the next morning, he was laying on $1 billion. See, it depends on how powerful you are, see, and your affinity and your harmonics in the universe, it works with you, see. So I recommend to use that yantra. If you do that, then you'll be a very rich person, be very healthy. You'll be waxing portality, proper mortality. You can live a long time, live long and prosper. There we go.
If we all learn how to do this, then competitiveness would go. So we wouldn't be thinking we were competing with anyone else. We would just be what we wanted to be.
Making commendation, not condemnation. Condemnation is a competitive idea. Commendation is giving out medals. We have medals. Give out a gold medal for his creation of the empire. And we have to applaud it. Yes, congratulations on your empire building. We applaud you. You get a gold medal for a commendation. We'll give out certificates, and we'll give out the certificate in a gold frame. It's Corinthian gold. It's gold leaf. It's not solid gold because it would melt down in the sun. This is good stuff. Thank you, guys. I'm only as good as my audience, and you guys drag it out of me. Drag out the jokes. We know we got some there, and Grantham will drag those jokes out and push them out. Like Neville said, pushed out into the shadow worlds are the funny jokes by Grantham and Taylor Hughes.
I like to go back to what you said because it will be quite important to emphasize absolute concentration and focus. Thinking about that, usually when we try to instill a belief, there is a fraction of a doubt and a fraction of a fear somewhere lurking. However, the way how we can compensate or override that doubt and fear is through the power of sheer concentration and focus. And therefore this manifestation tool allows us to completely have needle sharp focus to instill that programming of I am, healthy, wealthy, rich, or whatever. I wanted to emphasize that complete focus which is needed.
Well, it's a ganosus of attention. Like the more you put attention on something, you gain it and less away from losing the sustenance. So that's why we do the reset and do the mantra, because you got to maintain the manifestation. Once you gain your wealth and riches, you still maintain the mantra, because if you don't maintain the mantra, you'll lose what you've created. You see what I mean? So the reset is a constant. You have to keep working on that, because you got lower factions. See, the subconscious, all the primitive incarnations and all the negativity in your world that keeps raising its head. So the reset is like chopping off the hydra's heads, by doing the reset. So all you have to do is maintain the I am thin or I am rich throughout the day, and that'll keep the hydra down. You see what I mean? Keep the negativity down. That's how you simplify this, because you enhance your attention too. You enhance your attention level. It becomes superior. Your intelligence becomes superior. Vocabulary becomes superior. Everything comes out of you as a source in terms of I am conscious. See, so that's what you're trying to say, Vicki, is the constant reset, maintaining the focus is a discipline. There's a discipline exoterically, and people don't like to be disciplined. They're lazy. They want to sit on the beach drinking Mai Tais, wait till the ocean comes in, washes me away like a wonderful sandcastle. I'm a sandcastle on the beach. Wash me away, ocean. Take me away. Take me into you. I want to come to the ocean. Just stop it. Okay, I will.
Very often what we hear about, particularly when we talk to our colleagues, our friends, is the sort of phrase of, I'm planning to do this because I have to do this, right? Because to achieve this, I have to do that. I have to work. I have to get more money. I have to do more.
That's lack consciousness. It's a subterfuge, subconscious nonsense. So you got to do a reset. When you start doing that too much, just do the reset. I am rich. And that trumps the whole thing. You got to play bridge and trump everything. You got to throw the ace of spades into the pot all the time. You got to reset with the ace. Here comes the A's, and all that subterfuge, lackey consciousness, a lack coming in. I can't do this, I can't do that. Bills piling up. My life is wretched. Nobody loves me. And you do this. I am loved. I am rich. Oh, here comes a reset. You see how it goes? You got to just keep
It
at it.
sounds very easy. It sounds very easy.
You don't know, Vicky. You don't know the reset. If you know the reset, it's real easy.
Then when all this money's pouring in,
Yes.
then you can just relax and let it, and you can just be yourself. You don't have to be serious anymore.
Well, of course not. Why be serious anyway? See,
Yes,
that
right.
means you're letting everything go, and that's the answer to stuff. But the problem is the negativity, the lack rears its ugly head when the bills come in. I can't pay my bills. Well, then realize it's a accepted for value. A for B. A for B. When you get a bill, it's actually part of something you're supposed to send back to the Federal Reserve banks, and then they pay the bills. In America, and actually the Western world was bankrupted back in the 1930s, and you don't have to really pay for any of it, but you didn't know that, see. Again, it's a matter of knowledge that you don't have. But again, if you stay with the simple thing that I am rich, everything will be taken care of, see. But see, people don't realize how simple it is. See, because they don't believe that, and belief is everything. If you believe in it, you maintain the mantra, then it happens because that's all there is to do, and it's simplicity of the whole thing. You got to get rid of the ganosus of lack. People live in lack all the time. I got to get a job. I got to work for somebody. Well, if you're the creator, I don't know if the creator needs to work for somebody. I guess you could. You can go out and prostitute yourself to an employer. Yes, I'm a prostitute. You can pay me for my work. And that's all they're doing anyway. You prostitute yourself to the market. Why are you going to do that if you can create your riches by sitting at home in a chair watching television?
Yes, I've found as well, Grantham, both for myself and through Vicky, that money comes unexpectedly and in strange ways.
Okay, that's why we're in a bankruptcy, because nobody understands it, pretty much anything. When you get right down to it, it's like a magnetics. They claim that the opposites attract. That's not true. The opposite repel. It's the same thing attracts, but it doesn't make any sense. But you see, when you make it work, it doesn't matter the definition of the whole thing. When something is an experience that takes place, it doesn't matter about the explanation, because nobody can explain anything logically. The only way you can explain anything is this. That's the only thing you can explain correctly. The rest of it is just total waste of time. Logic is a piece of tripe. If you know what cow's stomach is, my father used to like tripe. I don't know what was wrong with it. It's awful. Even a bunch of ketchup and salt and pepper can't fix tripe.
You know what a Seika does? There's no thinking. It just flows. So you've got the mind out of the way, and the mind is what stops people doing things, because they start to think, oh, what if I do this? This might happen. This might happen. Get
That's
the
right.
mind out of the way.
Right, that's right. It's
Yeah.
the lack thing. And the lower shadow worlds are a lack. But you create them because you wouldn't be here if you weren't in the shadow world with me right now. So I respect the fact. Thank you for allowing me in your portal, and you can thank me for allowing you in my portal. You see what I mean? So we're in the shadow worlds right now, exoterically. So the truth is esoteric. When you close your eyes, that's the only truth, because it's imagination. Neville talks about imagination, but he doesn't understand the phrase imagination. See, nation of images esoterically. When you close your eyes, there's a nation of images. Image nation. Wow, isn't that amazing?
It is.
Nation. So there's a nation of images all around us, exoterically and esoterically. What are you doing with those images? If you're creating all those images, are you responsible for them? Yes, to a certain degree.
It's the same with thoughts, isn't it? We have a constant stream of thoughts.
So we use images, thought.
Right, that's right. We see in images, we don't see in words. A picture's worth 1,000 words, see, and then 1,000 words is worth a picture. You see, I mean, you can reverse that. They did a movie on that. I thought it was very cleverly done. But you have to appreciate that we think in pictures. Just like we see a picture now, we're not thinking in words. Words are just logic references out of a Saker. Okay, and then let's go, what is the picture? Well, remember a water droplet. It's a prism of colors that make manifestation in front of us. And the proof, if the sun shines on the other side of a water droplet, what do you see on the other side? A rainbow of colors. So that proves inside the water droplet is all the manifestation that's in front of you. See, so when we realize we're just looking at a prism of colors in the nation of images that we've created, then we realize the simplicity of this. I am rich. Oh, I am healthy. I am happy. See, and that's what you get back to. You do the Ganosus. You gain but don't sustain. Do the reset of the mantra. I appreciate this very much, and until the next time.
Okay.
Okay, bye for now.
Thank you. Bye bye.